America has had no stronger ally since the September 11 attack than Australia. But right now, many Australians are questioning just how far we should go in supporting the US when it comes to possible military action against Iraq. President George W. Bush will ask the United Nations later this week to approve the use of force against Saddam Hussein because of his refusal to comply with UN inspections designed to prevent Iraq developing chemical, biological or nuclear weapons. But if the UN won't act, America has warned it will not sit back and watch the threat grow. And Australia may well be asked to help out in a preemptive US military strike. We're joined by Richard Butler, former Chief Weapons Inspector for the United Nations. Richard Butler, thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure to be here, Helen.
Now, do you think there has been too much talk pushing a war and not enough building a strong case for a war based on hard evidence?
I think so. Look, it's not about a war, it's about the fact that Saddam Hussein in Iraq is not in compliance with international law on their weapons of mass destruction. Now, what do we do about that? If the United States were to send the cavalry up the hill, cream Iraq, then everyone's worst expectation of the post-Cold War world would be fulfilled. That is, there's one superpower with all this muscle, and they can do whatever the hell they want.
Do you think the Australian government made a mistake by assuming the Australian public would fall in behind whatever America would want to do, and they seem to be supporting a war without explaining to the public why?
Yes, I think they did. When the United States, a month ago, said that it's going to go out there and get Saddam, Alexander Downer, for example, said, we'll be on the first cavalry horse over the hill. He talked about appeasement and, you know, only a fool would disagree with me and so on. That was excessive and silly.
You are someone who has seen close up what Iraq is like, what its possibilities and capabilities are. Before we talk about weapons, should Australia be involved in any sort of military action against Iraq?
Iraq's a total outlaw. I mean, the thing that mystifies me, Helen, is why we haven't done this 4 years ago. But now it's come to that point. Australia should be involved in enforcing international law.
What is the hard evidence that you have seen, even in the 4 years since you and your team were kicked out when you were trying to disarm Iraq?
I've seen pictures of the nuclear establishment to which Saddam has recalled his scientists and put them back to work. I've taught...
What, aerial photos from the satellite?
Absolutely.
And is that hard evidence to you?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's fine, yeah. Quite clear.
OK, why hasn't the public been allowed in on this so-called evidence?
Look, the evidence has always been there. The facts have always been what they are. What is really interesting, consistent with what I'm saying, is that sometimes facts suit politicians, sometimes they don't, is that suddenly it now suits the Bush administration and others to say, we now have to do this against Saddam.
Would you agree that if there are nuclear weapons, the Americans, and we heard Vice President Cheney say it just a few days ago, we know he wants to use it, he's almost there getting it, he just needs the fuel. But isn't it the case they don't have any evidence that he's about to use a nuclear weapon against the United States or United States interests?
I think that is the case. And to say all they need is the fuel is actually a big thing. I mean, it's like having a car without petrol. Now, what the Americans are saying is that they're about to get it, the fuel, for a nuclear weapon. What I say is, I suspect that's true. But will they please demonstrate that to the international community? Is
war inevitable?
Inevitable in my line of country is an incredibly tough word. But 99% is damn close to inevitable, and I think it's 99% certain.
Richard Butler, thank you.
Good.
Former United Nations Chief Weapons Inspector Richard Butler. And we're eager to find out what you think about any possible strike against Iraq. You can have your say by joining in our national phone poll. The question we're asking, do you support Australian involvement in military action against Iraq? To vote yes, ring 1902 554 568. To lodge a no vote, dial 1902 554 569. Now, the lines will be open until midday tomorrow, so please be patient if you can't get through straight away. There's plenty of time to record your vote. And we'll bring you those phone poll results tomorrow night, when we'll also have the story of an extraordinary family feud. A 76-year-old woman faces being kicked out of home by her own son, but Mum is refusing to budge.
They said they would never sell, and they told me I could live here till I died.
It was nothing intended to be nasty. It was just her interpretation of it.
Unbelievable to me, and disgraceful that he would do that to his mother. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have nowhere to go.
I don't even class her as a mother.
I don't do.
What do you think will happen to her now?
I don't really care.
I don't care. We don't care.
One of our stories tomorrow night, and we hope you can be with us then. After the break, Mike Munro wraps up our coverage from Ground Zero in New York.